I did not have a sales process. I kind of went from the hip, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a low success rate at closing the deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I had all referrals and never really had to market myself before. And so now I've moved into a new market, having moved my business 700 miles. And that's why I said I call this class the Learn How to Be a Better Person, Learn How to Talk Better class, because it helps me in that aspect. So
Yeah.
it was a confidence builder. I had no idea if I was pricing correctly. And I was really nervous about going into a new market and either being way underpriced or being too overpriced, which is not probably a real legit fear. It was more the underpriced. I don't want to be under market, but that was probably my biggest thing, and making sure that I was showing the value for my services. So for me, there were two things. One, I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I don't like to give up control. And I was afraid that I would be giving up control over how I talk to people and relate to people to somebody else.
Oh.
It's not a script. It's definitely something that you have to come up with. You have to put the work into, because for me, I didn't want to say something that I don't believe. I don't want to say something that is not true to who I am. Yeah. And so, when you work with people that aren't accountants, they don't always know the lingo or what you're trying to say when you're building kind of like, your client stories to talk when you relate to people. So sometimes there was a little confusion, but for them, it was all me. It wasn't them telling me, oh no, that doesn't work, you got to do something else. It was just helping me enhance what I already had, So it was a lot better. I would go, oh yeah, that sounds a lot better than what I had, because I'm too wordy.
Yeah. And now look, right? Things are working. So share with us what have been your biggest wins or successes in the last 2 months, and how do you feel now looking back?
So I feel much more confident in my pricing. Being able to know that I'm charging my worth was a huge thing. Because I still struggle, but have a lot of imposter syndrome and going, okay, well, I can't charge that much. It's just not worth that much. But knowing that I've put all this time behind it to get to that point where I can do it in a shorter amount of time back compared to when I first started. And so kind of having all that laid in front of me and hit with the proverbial hammer, it helps. And then having the confidence to relate that and be able to talk to new clients. Like I talked to somebody yesterday who's one of like the big floral shops in town that I'm setting up a sales call with next week. Nice. And hopefully, and she's big on relationship building. So ideally that will be a new client for me. And if not, I'll get good practice. The class did what I wanted it to do. It gave me the confidence to go forward. I put out my, rush fees, so people are actually getting me their information on time. Extension season has been a lot more smooth. I made some extra money off of that as well, so that was nice. I increased one of my clients' fees a decent bit. Like I think it was like $4,000.
How much total additional revenue have you made in the last 8 weeks?
It's just under 6,000, I think. So
awesome.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to meet with my big client, and that'll add another 20K to it. I would say just go for it. Like it's just like I tell my clients, you don't know what you don't know until you learn it. Yeah. And so going through the steps and seeing how everything builds on the previous week until it kind of comes to the culmination, and then going, oh, this is what it all looks like put together. And having the patience to go through it and go, now I can put myself out there, and I'm putting my best self out there. So when I'm talking to people, they know I'm talking with confidence, and they're investing in you, and you believe in yourself.